Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So, topic here we are going to discuss it is an electrolyte and the non-electrolyte. Basically, this concept is very important to understand all the chemical processes or all the process of oxidation and reduction, or the overall that we can call as the redox reaction. To understand these type of reactions, we must know that the electrolyte and non-electrolyte as they are used in the electrochemical cells. As we have already learned that what does mean by the electrochemical cells, these are the cells that are used for the electrochemical processes, and there are two types. The first one we have it's galvanic cell, and the second type we have which is the electrolytic cell. So both the types we can have. To understand this, there is a concept of electrolyte. Electrolyte are the type of substances when we have their aqueous solution or when we have their molten solution or molten state, they can conduct the electricity or the electric current. These type of substances are called as the electrolytes. On the other hand, the non-electrolytes are the inverse of this. A non-electrolyte is a substance whose aqueous solution does not conduct an electric current or it is not be able to conduct the electricity. It is called as the non-electrolyte substances, and we have a lot of electrolyte and non-electrolyte substances around us. For example, the substances that are ionic in nature, likewise if we have the solution of sodium chloride, and if we have the solutions of many strong acids, they can conduct the electricity, and these are known as the electrolytes. On the other hand, when we talk about the non-electrolytes, these substances will not be able to conduct the electricity. And if we have the solutions of sugar, and if we have the benzene, it cannot conduct electricity when we have their molten state or when we have their aqueous solution. So, substances are going to conduct electricity. What is the reason behind this? Because when the electrolytes get dissolved in water, they are distributed into their ions. So these ions are responsible for the conduction of the electricity. On the other hand, non-electrolyte, they do not distribute it in the form of the ions. So they have no free ions. So they are not being conductors, and they are called as non-conductors and non-electrolyte. Then we have the examples of the electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Here, the electrolytes, they can be the form of acids, they can be the bases, and they can be the salts. So, three types of the substances can be the electrolytes. If we have a look on the salt, it is the sodium chloride. It can work as an electrolyte. The base we have or the acids. Acids we have acetic acid CH3COOH. It can work as an electrolyte because it can conduct the electricity. On the other hand, if we talk about the base, we have the sodium hydroxide. It is a strong base and it can conduct electricity when it is taken in its molten state or when we have its aqueous solution. On the other hand, when we talk about the non-electrolytes, they are basically present in the form of molecules, and these compounds are basically as the covalent compounds. And their examples are sugar and alcohols. Likewise, the formula of sugar here we have C12H22O11, and the alcohols are C2H5OH, which is the formula of ethanol. As they do not distribute it into their ions, so they will not conduct the electricity. On the other hand, we have another example for the non-electrolyte, which is the benzene, and the formula of benzene we have C6H6. These type of substances are called as the non-electrolyte because they do not conduct electricity. Then we have the types of the electrolytes. Basically, we have three types of the electrolytes here: the strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes, and the non-electrolytes. So, the electrolytes that are strong, they just fully dissociated in the water. It means they distribute their ions evenly in the solution. And its examples we have sodium hydroxide, sodium chloride, and the hydrochloric acid. On the other hand, the substances which are weak electrolyte means they incompletely dissociate in the water. And example is the water, as it is a weak electrolyte, acetic acid, and the ammonia. These three are called weak electrolyte, and the third one, which is called non-electrolyte, as they do not dissociate it in water when they get dissolved in it. The number one example we have sugar, the second we have alcohols, and third one we have oil. Even though the oil do not get dissolved in water, so how it can be able to conduct electricity, because it is insoluble in the water as a non-polar substance. So, when we talk about the strong electrolytes, they completely ionize in the water, and the examples are soluble salts that are the ionic in nature. We have strong acids and strong bases. These types of substances can be the strong electrolytes. Now, we have a simple look on the example in which the sodium hydroxide, which is a base, when it gets dissolved in the water or when we have its aqueous solution, then it dissociated into the ions like sodium positive and hydroxide negative. As it dissociated into the ions completely, so that's why it is called as the strong electrolyte, and it just takes place in the presence of water, and it's we have aqueous form, and this is also the aqueous physical state. The second type, which is called the weak electrolyte, it is a type of electrolyte that does not completely dissociate it or split into the ions in the aqueous solution. The very simple example of the weak electrolytes, we have acetic acid. Its formula we have CH3 COOH. When we have its aqueous solution or we dissolve it in the water, what just happened? It dissociated into ions but not completely. It forms acetate ion, and along with the hydronium ion. So it is not dissociated into its ions completely. So that's why it is called as the weak electrolyte. So here you can see that we just put up our electrolyte in the water, it produces a number of ions. On the other hand, when we put up the weak electrolyte, it just produces a very little ions. These are the simple ions produced by the weak electrolytes. So the weak electrolytes conduct the electricity to some extent. On the other hand, the strong electrolyte can conduct electricity very truly. So this was all about today's lecture. I hope you guys understand. And if you have any queries, you may ask me about that in the comment section. The next topic that we will discuss, it is the electrolytic cell and its construction along with its working. For that time, you guys keep learning and have a good day.